Tell us about the chemistry between you two.
Well, I think there's a lot of chemistry, and along the way they're like, hey, you're not so bad.
I actually kind of like you.
He has other love interests too. He's like, you know,
Wow. Cool.
he's a god. He has a big appetite.
Poor Anya. Someone get this girl an AC already. At this rate, she's going to melt away, literally.
I don't sweat very much.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to get me to sweat, and so I just am stewing in my own heat.
I'm a sweaty guy.
So it's a no from me, dog.
I'm a sweaty guy. I got no pants on just to make sure I don't overheat, you know, myself.
No.
So just should I be careful?
You like
yes.
being hot.
Forgot the question. Distracted by the fact that I forgot my pants. Again, why are you in my bedroom? I just woke up. Is this real?
Anya and Chris definitely spent some quality time together on Furiosa. She knows him up close and personal. How could she not? The guy practically spent the whole movie in that unbuttoned vest. She could have counted every single ab if she wanted to. So when Chris tried to downplay one of his many talents, Anya wasn't having it. Nice try, Chris, but we're not fooled, and neither is she.
What is Chris Hemsworth? Max Bench?
Like bench press.
Max Bench.
Not
Got
very
it.
good, to be honest. As in, it's okay, but I don't.
I don't buy it.
No.
Let's be honest, when the packaging is that inviting, you don't really think about what's inside. It's likely to ruin the illusion. But this is the moment of truth. Surely there has to be some kind of manufacturing defect somewhere. Nobody's perfect.
Oh, if Chris Hemsworth comes with a warning label, it's like, be careful, I am the most loving, lovable human being on this planet, so be careful about that because I'm so beautiful inside and out. I care for you, I see you, and I'm very generous, so be careful because you would just melt in front of me. Voila.
Seeing Chris Hemsworth as Thor changed our lives, so you would imagine the role would have changed Chris's life and his bank account. Wrong. While the first movie ended up racking $450 million globally, Chris got paid just $150,000 for the role.
What?
If there are two people who've seen their fair share of the most beautiful beings across universes, it's the leads of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So when Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange are asked to make a very difficult choice, Elizabeth Olsen shows us what she really thinks of Marvel.
Hemsworth is the most handsome superhero in the MCU.
You're getting into trouble, but I mean, I think. But let's talk about
Let's
this, Lizzie.
talk about Hemsworth.
What about the other Chris?
Hemsworth is godly.
He's a godly man. Yeah. he is.
When I have worked with him very few times.
Yeah, it's hard not to
His arm.
be inappropriate.
Not
Yeah.
like that to me is handsome.
Yeah.
But it is kind of wild
Yeah,
to
you
see
kind
in
of just keep
real
looking at it
life.
going, is that real?
It's way bigger than my head.
Yes.
I also have a little head, but it's way
It's
bigger
a big,
than my
big arm.
head.
It's a huge arm.
But he also is charming and fun and kind
And kind.
and a good actor.
Thor: Love and Thunder might not have set the box office ablaze as expected,
I no longer go by the name Astrid. I'm now known as
but there was definitely one day on set that had the entire crew fighting for a front row seat. If you've seen the movie, you know exactly what we're talking about. If you really don't know what we mean, then hang around for a few more minutes and we will show you fans thirsting over it. And trust us, you won't be disappointed.
Most of it too. Yeah, that was memorable.
Was that funny?
Funny for everyone else. Everyone else had a laugh. It was,
Because you worked so
I don't
hard.
remember that either.
You were naked, no, you
The
weren't.
performance was so strong. We don't.
Nobody
that
knows
wasn't.
it.
that was the goal. I was like, eyes up here, eyes up here.
Well, there's also
About 350 people came to set that day, and most of them had never dared to step foot on set before. We see you, Fox Studios. We see you.
Jennifer Lawrence shot to fame with the Hunger Games movie, and rumors swirled about a fling with co-star Liam Hemsworth. Whether those rumors were true or not, we may never know. But one thing's for sure, Jennifer is way too quick with her answer. It makes us think she's fantasized about this at least a few times.
Pick a fictional.
Thor.
Okay.
Done. Next question. Who do you want on your team in the Hunger Games?
Thor.
Got it. Perfect answer. You nailed it.
I love Thor.
Biceps.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Oh, I really love Thor.
Swing that hammer. What about you?
Bear Grylls.
Ooh.
Hey.
That's a good one.
All
There's
right.
a lot more. Because also, I mean, he was a special forces, so he could.
I'd like
fight,
to see him against the God of Thunder, but that would be interesting.
The Kardashians know a handsome man when they see one. Just look at their dating history. But would you believe there's actually one Kardashian who had no idea Chris Hemsworth existed? I mean, how's that even possible? We're shaking our heads at this one.
Chris Hemsworth. Who's that? Thor. You
I
don't know who Thor is?
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
Okay, come on now. This guy's just too much. You're setting the bar way too high for the rest of us, you good-looking, perfect jawline, godlike, whatever. As if he didn't already excel at everything, here he is nailing yet another thing. Though to be fair, he's playing second fiddle to a Brit this time. One from down under, the other from across the pond. Talk about a power duo.
And he said, can I learn the instrument to play at your show? And I said, yes. He started learning this instrument 2 months ago, and he's been on stage playing with us for the whole time, playing in time. Will you make some noise for Chris Hemsworth?
Ready? You look ready. Hey, listen, just try to have fun out there, right? Yeah, don't be nervous.
I won't be nervous.
About what I'm about to do to you.
I'm not going to introduce you, so like afterwards, I'm going to be like, hey guys, guess what?
We promised we'd show you why the set of Thor Love and Thunder was packed to the brim on that particular day. Well, here it is. The scene from Omnipotent City, the place where gods assemble. And trust me, it was worth sitting through the first 58 minutes and 56 seconds in the theater just to witness this moment. Let's just say, when Zeus gave that flick, it was pure cinematic gold.
And flick!
Oh, flick too hard, damn it!
Who you are. I take off your disguise.
Hey!
And flick!
Oh.
Flick too hard, damn it!
Flick harder.
Disguise.
And flick! Flick too hard, damn it!
We've seen Chris try to be humble and downplay his godlike physique, but this interviewer wasn't buying it. Still, behind all the charm and chiseled looks, Chris really did come from humble beginnings. You'd never guess in a million years what his first job was, and honestly, we're still not sure if he's being humble or bluffing. Let's just say it had something to do with breasts.
He did what?
But trust me, it's definitely not what you're thinking.
He had the shirt off scene in the movie, which I was thankful I didn't have to, so he did
Okay,
his
Chris,
prayer.
don't do that. Like, you don't have 1,000 abs and massive biceps also, okay?
I didn't have to do it in that film. I was thankful not to be, you know, to get the spray tan out and do your push-ups and then roll camera. I was like, had my glasses on and my suit, and I was like, on you go, kid.
Look, we weren't mad at the glasses in the suit either. It was a nice change. That's all I'll say about that.
Oh, thank you.
Almost the truth and changed it slightly to a lie.
I'm gonna say, you lie.
Yeah.
Did you lie? I'll say lie too.
It was the truth.
I don't get it. Feminists have been fighting for years to avoid being objectified and treated like a piece of meat. But then the moment Chris Hemsworth drops his shirt, all that moral high ground goes right out the window. You can't do this to our Chris. I feel violated on his behalf.
Like, if he looked like this and he wasn't killing it with his mind, I wouldn't be into his body.
See, he can still get it.
He's really hot.
Yeah,
no matter how he
Shannon's
treated
an evolved soul. Like, she
Yeah.
really does see within more than my shallow ass.
I am more. You seen the shirtless photos of him with his kids? Those are the best.
Yeah.
Because you can see that he's a good dad and he's caring and he's loving and
Women
he's
love
funny.
that, right?
And he's like he has like twins and he's like holding each of the twins and I'm like, oh my God, he's perfect.
I've really had it with this guy. Come on, dude, stop being this nice. Oh, wait, nobody can be this good looking and this nice. He's gotta be acting, even in real life. Seriously, Chris, stop the act. You're making it way too difficult for the rest of us mere mortals.
Is it a video?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Hello.
Can you just say something, I love you or something like that?
No, I love my wife. But I'm sure she's lovely. Hello.
Should have aimed for the head.
What?
Should have aimed for the head.
What? Oh, should have aimed for the head. Yeah, should've.
The Argentine accent's very nice, but I'm biased.
Yeah, the Australian is definitely not a sexy accent. How you going, babe?
No, but I think...
Give us a kiss, honey.
Oh, Lord.
You're looking hot.
Oh, Lord.
So hot.
So, I was just saying, yeah.
So sexy.
Let's be real, there are plenty of girls out there who would do just about anything to get some quality time with Chris Hemsworth. And then there's Jessica Chastain, who somehow scored the ultimate jackpot. Let's just say it involved a lot of time together and some serious heat. We're talking 9 whole hours, people.
Exactly. Well, but is spending 9 hours in a hot tub with Chris Hemsworth all I imagined it would be?
And more.
All right, let's settle this once and for all. There are plenty of rumors swirling around about a particular part of Chris Hemsworth's body, but let's hear it from the ladies who've seen it, up close and personal. And no, we're not talking about his wife. Sorry, Elsa.
True or false? Chris Hemsworth has 6 abs.
I think he's got 9. He's probably got 9. He's got so many that's almost like a 1-pack at this point.
6. 8. I googled it.
8.
Are you an alien?
No, current.
How do people have 8 abs? Let's see.
I don't have 8 abs. I don't have 8.
Can you call yourself a celebrity if your name is not etched into Hollywood Boulevard? Chris Hemsworth doesn't have to worry about that. Even if it took him 22 years to get that star on Hollywood Walk of Fame, Chris can rest easy knowing he's always been special in our eyes. We've seen plenty of celebrities fall head over heels after working with Chris.
Stop massaging his muscles.
So when a regular human being gets a little taste of him, life will never be the same. But honestly, I'm with a boyfriend on this one. This is just BS. Our girlfriends never react like this when they see us after a long time. I get it, he's the Chris Hemsworth, the god of thunder, but it still stings, you know?
Here we are,
Oh, God. Oh my God. I'm actually obsessed with him.
Here's Natalie Portman again. I get it, he's all hot and everything, but you're making us think you have a Chris Hemsworth shrine. Poor Chris, he can't even do normal people things without being objectified. Watch out, Elsa. Natalie is a little bit too excited about your man.
But then one day we ended up at school pickup at the same time, and I just felt so bad for him because I'm small and can kind of camouflage with the moms, and and then he comes in, he's like, it's like a Greek god walking through, and he's trying to be, and he's really famous everywhere, but especially in Australia.
Of course.
So well known. So you see him kind of by the tree, hiding.
If there's one movie that really did justice to Chris's talent, it's Ghostbusters. Hear me out. In this film, he plays a dim-witted, clueless, dumb blonde. Sure, he was still hot, but at least he wasn't the complete package for once. The movie might have let down a lot of nerds, but it definitely made boyfriends and husbands very happy. It finally humanized Chris. As for the other female cast members, I wouldn't be surprised if they signed on just because he was in it.
We saw in the clip there another addition to the cast, our good friend Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, I mean.
Now, I think I've got a picture of Chris Hemsworth. Do I?
Is he crying?
I do, yes.
That's just him coming out of the trailer.
It's him coming out of the trailer.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the sexiest Avenger of them all? You already know the theme of this video, so you've probably guessed where this is headed. But the real question is, who's saying it? Trust me, it's not the fans, and it's definitely not some random interviewer. It's someone who's very familiar with the Avengers lineup, and who knows a thing or two about being sexy.
Hi, I've got a question for Scarlett. Obviously, your character could have easily just been kind of written off as the sexy one of the team. How important is it that
Really? Have you seen Chris Hemsworth?
The Marvel movies have had a legendary run, raking in millions and breaking countless records. But there's one record I bet even they don't realize they've set. It's definitely for the most thirsted over photo ever. Someone should really get the Guinness folks to make it official. Do you know which photo we're talking about? Let's just say it's a real crowd pleaser.
Very quickly mention Thor, mostly so we can show this picture.
Sure.
Why would you be embarrassed? course. God.
It just looks like a lot of dieting and exercise to me. I'm like, oh, thanks. No.
When it comes to fans meeting Chris Hemsworth, the majority are busy thirsting over him. That's the #1 thing. But there's another group. They hit him with dirty Thor jokes. Really dirty Thor jokes. How dirty, you ask? Just listen to this one and then watch Jessica Chastain's reaction.
Go.
You know, the joke about the Thor spends a night with this woman and the next morning he says, I have to tell you who I am. You know, I'm Thor. She says, you're Thor, I can hardly walk.
It's a good joke. It's a good joke, ladies and gentlemen.
Next up, let's talk about Captain America. Everyone thinks it's Steve Rogers' purity of heart, honor, and integrity that made him worthy of lifting Thor's hammer. But I'm calling BS. There's a whole behind-the-scenes secret to why that storyline was written in, and it might just have something to do with this specific interview. And while we're on the topic of Chris's, don't be surprised if Star-Lord ends up being worthy of lifting the hammer in future films. Why, you ask? Well, keep watching, and we'll tell you why.
Answers. Who would you say is the best looking?
The best looking? Oh, really, Hemsworth?
Did I say that
Wow,
way
you
too
said it so
quickly?
fast.
That was a Chris Hemsworth. Sorry. Scarlett Johansson.
Thanks. That was better. I was not expecting that, but it's nice, nice to hear. Thanks.
Finally, someone's zeroed in on Chris's real problem. Kudos to Dakota Johnson for hitting the nail on the head. The mystery of why Chris's abs are always on display has finally been solved. And the best part? Dakota's got the evidence to back it up.
John Hamm, as we saw, and Chris Hemsworth is in it, and he doesn't wear a shirt, I understand.
Yeah, no, somehow he doesn't know how to button his shirt up. And it's so distracting for everybody.
Yeah, his body is just insane,
It's
isn't it?
so remarkable and truly such an accomplishment for him.
It is an accomplishment for him. It's just unreal. It's
so crazy.
Yeah, and he's such a nice guy.
It's not just your wives and girlfriends you need to worry about when Chris Hemsworth is around. You'd better lock up all the ladies in your family. This man is a walking, talking homewrecker. Journey Smollett found this out the funny way when one of her family members couldn't resist flirting with him. And honestly, who could blame her? She's only human after all. But she did come up with a unique adjective for Chris, one you've probably never heard before.
And Chris, I actually met on your show. I met him backstage, and I remember meeting him because my mom was flirting with him.
Well, who doesn't flirt with Chris Hemsworth? I flirt with Chris Hemsworth.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You should flirt with Chris Hemsworth. I won't be flirting with Chris, just so you guys know.
Okay.
But my mom was telling him that he's a tall drink of water.
All right, credit where it's due. Chris really goes out of his way to be kind and warm to his fans. He and Ellen surprised a fan working on the Warner Brothers lot. She saw her chance and went for it, making a bold request that Chris obviously couldn't fulfill. Watch to find out what it was. But hey, I like her approach. It never hurts to ask, right?
Let's go. Quieter.
Yeah. We're residuals only.
Hi, how you doing?
How are you?
Oh, my. Are you kidding? No, we're not. Happy Administrative Professional Day.
How are you? Nice to meet you.
How's it going?
This is amazing. Any serious in particular?
Do you want
more pressure? More?
Harder? You want oil? What do you want?
Oil?
Anything?
Elbow?
He's gonna get his.
Naked? Okay.
He's married. You know that.
I know.
Of course.
And you have beautiful children.
Thank you.
Earlier, we spilled the secret behind Captain America lifting Thor's hammer and hinted that Star-Lord might just be next in line. Why do we think so? Well, this interview of Chris Pratt on Ellen might just give you the answer. With all the praise I'm heaping on Chris Hemsworth, I've got to ask, am I getting any closer to being worthy of lifting the hammer myself? Marvel, are you listening?
Every Chris there is, so
That's
it's
right.
not really an honor.
I got nominated when my mom named me Chris.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and I was honored by that. Look, I got to be honest with you. He has my vote too. I mean, look at him.
Yeah.
The man is gorgeous.
Yeah, he is gorgeous.
And Idris the sexiest man on
He's
the
the
cover?
sexiest man.
Yeah.
But Chris is the sexiest Chris. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do aside, I don't have, that's sexy.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
You
that's
have
sexy.
that. We've seen that on you. We know that.
No, mine has a lot more airbrushed than that.
Amy Schumer is the victim of the greatest sibling sabotage in history. You'd think if there's anyone you can trust, it would be your own blood, right? Well, Amy Schumer found out the hard way that's not always the case. She was living one of the greatest moments of her life. Now, I won't spoil what that is, but I know this much. Her sister won't be forgiven anytime soon. Let me just solidify my chances of lifting Thor's hammer. There's nice, there's super nice, and then there's Chris Hemsworth. He really is one of a kind. How many people get called the god of something and still stay so grounded? Why all the praise, you ask? Well, it's because of his surprising and incredibly kind gesture to this reporter.
This morning. I've been telling you all morning, I'm in the horse capital of Australia, but I was yet to find a horse, so I thought I should hot-foot it up to one of the horse studs and check out the beautiful.
Heard you talking about looking for some horses. There's a bunch down here, actually, which I've noticed in the paddock. What are you doing?
Well, we're doing the weather for the Today Show, and I often get teased about not having the best presenting skills or pronunciation.
All right, I've got to say it. Everyone went absolutely gaga over Chris's famous bare-bottom scene in Thor: Love and Thunder. Sure, Chris put in the hard work to make the Tushy look great, but there's another man who deserves just as much credit, if not more. And finally, someone had the guts to thank him properly. Kudos to this reporter for speaking on behalf of all the ladies out there.
I'm ever in Marvel, and you said if it was going to be anybody, it had to be Chris. Why?
Partial? It's full.
Well, I'm the one who keeps saying partial. Is it really full?
Well, from the back.
From the back.
It's a Disney. You know, hey, we can't show everything.
I say this with all respect. I'm a married woman, but thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And, you know, look, he's worked hard on those buns. You know, you got to show them off, otherwise what's the point?
Is there anything more Australian than Chris Hemsworth? Depends on who you ask, but probably Crocodile Dundee. So what do the two have in common? Chris's uncle Rod Ansel was the inspiration behind the Bushman character. Rod had to sleep in trees and even scoop honey out of beehives after a whale overturned his boat. Despite his fame and the many women thirsting over him, Chris has always managed to stay humble. It's likely this might have something to do with his unusual upbringing. Chris and his siblings were raised in the Australian outback. While other kids were playing video games, he was chasing crocodiles. Celebrities don't hang out with mere mortals like us. That's just something we have to accept. Well, we should say most. Chris Hemsworth, as if he could get any better, spends a lot of time with his primary school friend, Luke Zocchi. It just so happens Luke is Chris's personal trainer. The ladies love to talk about Chris and his hammer, for obvious reasons, so it would be a crime for someone to even hint at another actor playing Thor. But that's the shocking truth. Liam Hemsworth himself was set to wield Thor's hammer way before Chris was considered. Do you believe in destiny? Well, even if you don't, Chris does. And there's a surprising connection between his birthday and his iconic role as Thor. Chris was born on a Thursday. That's right, the day of the week named after Thor. Mic drop.